collectors, and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at Leader Class Armada Universe Galvatron from the Transformers Legacy United line from Hasbro. This is of course just a repaint of Armada Universe Megatron that we saw back in Transformers Legacy Evolution, but it is a really nice repaint and it's going to look great with Tidal Wave if I ever decide to pick him up. So yeah, definitely had to go ahead and scoop this up here. Now, the packaging is a little different from back with Megatron because he did not have an open window. That was back when they were doing solid boxes. So you do have the little cutout here. You can actually see the figure inside. No plastic window yet, although that's coming with the next line. Nice artwork here of the tank mode on the front. And then you have some nice artwork of Galvatron here in robot mode. And then a little close-up of the head there. Over on this side, you have the standard half of the Legacy United mural that we got going on here with a big 40 years of Transformers logo. Not really anything going on down the bottom. Got the Legacy United logo there up top. Got your complimentary Amazon box smash right there on the corner. And then over here we got some nice product shots of the robot mode and the tank mode. And you can spin that around, all that kind of stuff. We'll get into all that, just like Armada Universe Megatron. So I'm going to go ahead and get Galvatron out of the packaging here, and we'll take a closer look. Here is Leader Class Galvatron out of the packaging, and I think he looks phenomenal. I mean, he did a really nice job with this repaint. It was a really cool repaint back in the day, and they have done it faithfully here again for us. Now, if you're familiar with the Armada Megatron that came out back in Legacy Evolution, probably not going to be too many surprises here for you. It is the exact same mold. I really don't think anything has changed other than the color scheme, but it is a really nice color scheme, so I'm happy to have it here. Head sculpt, I think, looks great. Let's see if we can get a little bit closer there on that. So these are going to block the light. Let's see if I can bring these down a little bit. There we go. You can see that face sculpt. It looks fantastic. The paint's really nice. I love the grimace he's making there. The red eyes, the gold on the maroon really pop. All of the purple here looks really good. The original toy, this was a slider that you could kind of slide up the face mask. This time around, the face mask is here on the inside of the chest. It's mostly used to cover the face in the vehicle mode, even though it doesn't need to be done. But if for some reason you want him to utilize this in the robot mode, you absolutely can. You just tuck that back in there and close that up. Now, again, it is the exact same mold, so the same problems I had with Armada Megatron, I have with Armada Galvatron. I still wish these clicked into place somehow in the robot mode. I wish there was some way that these would stay, because every time you try to move the arms, they end up moving with it, and that was something I really didn't like with Megatron, and is unfortunately still prevalent here with Galvatron. Nice Decepticon symbols painted here on the shoulders. Let's see, other paint applications. You have some nice kind of silver metallic-y gray down here for the shins. Some gold here on the top of the toes. A little bit of gray down here as well. You have all of this really nice paint here on the top of the turret. And all of this here, we'll see a lot more paint when we get into vehicle mode. Top of the back of the head there is nice gold. So, again, it is a really nice repaint. I think they did a nice job. And just to show them side by side, here is Armada Megatron. Let me frame this up a little better here. So as you can see, really just the exact same mold. There's not really much difference. Paint applications are pretty much in the same place. The only thing is they did not kind of paint the abdomen here. They left that purple. Otherwise, pretty much one for one. I mean, obviously they're different colors, but the paint applications are pretty much in the same place. Slightly different on the pectorals here. But it all works. It all looks good. I'm happy with it. I guess there is a little bit less paint here in the shoulder area as well. But now I will say the face expression, actually, I'm just noticing is different. So this is kind of a more bland, normal expression. And here he has that grimace. So they actually did give him a new face sculpt. That's actually pretty cool. I was not expecting that. That's got to be the only change with the mold, if I would stand to guess there. Yeah, paint applications, again, pretty similar here on the back. But again, it was a fun mold back then. It's still a fun mold, and I'm actually really loving that new facial expression. I'm very excited they did that. So moving on to articulation. The head has a little bit, the tiniest little bit, of front to back. Really nothing really to speak of there, but it is somewhat present. Spin the head from side to side, no problem. Can't really tilt from side to side all that much. I wish you could spin the whole arm here, but you can't. These have to stay in place. There's no front to back articulation on the entire shoulder, which is another reason I don't know why they couldn't lock into place, but you have to kind of flip up this little flap here, and you can see the shoulder here, so you can come forward, out to the side. Again, it's going to move this, which is a bit of a bummer. Bicep swivel there, maybe slightly over 90 degrees in the elbow. You do have a wrist swivel. You kind of have two, like this is the actual waist swivel, but technically you can move this piece as well. You'll see what I mean a little bit later on. But for all intents and purposes, this is your waist swivel here. Really nice movement in the hip. Kick really far forward, really far back, really far out to the side. Got a thigh swivel there. Nice ratcheted knee, as you can hear there. Love it. And then you have the ankle tilt. Now it kind of goes in and locks into place, and it can be kind of difficult, but you do have ankle tilt there. And they put that piece in there so that the space isn't empty, which I really love. I love when they do that kind of stuff. So you have really nice ankle tilt there. You even have a little bit of movement in the toe and the heel because of transformation, but the feet on mine are ridiculously tight. Like, I really have to give it some gusto to get them to come down. So I'm really hoping, and put them back up as well. Really hoping that doesn't eventually break. Fingers crossed on that, but they're really tight. I'm hoping over time they'll just loosen up. But yeah, it's pretty cool. No Leader 1. I know, I'm still bummed about it. Really hoping Hasbro is going to do some kind of mini-con bonus pack. I think that would make an excellent Hasbro Pulse exclusive or fan channel exclusive, something like that. You know, just give us all the mini-cons we've been looking for. We did get Jolt. Do I have Jolt handy? Okay, sorry, I had to reach for him on the shelf, but we did get Jolt with that Pulse exclusive Hotshot. So this is like the only minicon we've gotten so far. We need Sparkplug, we need Leader 1, now both versions. We need Swindle, whatever Wheeljax is called, we're going to need that one too. Got the repaint of it with that Shattered Glass side swipe, but we're going to need Wheeljack. So anyway, give us a minicon pack, please. We need one. Please help us out. But anyway, so that's Articulation. The only accessory he does have is the little barrel of his gun, because what you can do is flip the hand around into the forearm, and that exposes a peg. And you can pop that on if you'd like to give him the shockwave look. You can give him a barrel arm blaster type of thing going on there. Flipping this back around. The other thing you can do is, you know, similar things that the toy used to do, where you can kind of pop this up, bring the arm up here, and then bend this in and give him that kind of under the armpit cannon that he used to do in the show. I think there was he used Leader 1 to activate that, but still very cool. The other thing you can do is you can lift him up here at the waist, like so, and then kind of move these up, and then you're going to have to bend this down like that so that you have enough clearance to spin this around like so, and then close it back up and pop this up. Close that all up, and then you can bring this forward, and then this little section will pop up as well, and then you can spin it around if you want. This actually broke on my Megatron, so I'm trying to be very careful with it here on my Galvatron. But you can do that as well, which is kind of cool. So yeah, unfortunately, he doesn't have any of the Minicon ports. I'm trying to remember with Jolt. I think Jolt had... If I pop this back up... Yeah, he had a little peg here. So you could pop this down like that, and then you could connect it. So let's see if we can get this to work here. Transform him real quick. I believe this goes around like that. It does. And then technically you could use this connection here to pop this on and pretend that the Minicon is linking up. Something like that. Because I think this is typically where there was one for Leader 1 to connect. So you could do something like that. Otherwise, you could just kind of have them connect onto the sides and things. you know, here. They did put a lot of holes around, like they were thinking of doing mini-cons and then just never followed through. But in any case, I think this is the only, I guess this and the repaint of, I think, is it Wind Shear? I want to say Wind Shear, but I'm not 100%. Feel free to correct me in the comments. The one that came with Wheeljack, I think, was Wind Shear. And we got the repaint of that one. I don't think I have that anywhere. Yeah, unfortunately, I think I packed all my Shattered Glass stuff away, but it exists, just not the right color scheme. Anyway, getting back to Galvatron here, I do like this look. I think this is actually really cool, having the turret flip around to the front. I think that's kind of a cool look. So let me pop this back and then peg this back in. And then you just have to, once again, extend him, move your arms out of the way, flip this down, probably flip this back out for clearance, and then spin this around. Oh, that's getting in the way there. There we go. And done. Snap, and we're good. So overall, I like the mold. I wish those shoulders locked into place. That's really my only complaint for the robot mode. Otherwise, I think he's pretty fun. It's a pretty good update. The old toy wasn't too bad with articulation, so maybe it didn't have ankle tilt. It's probably about maybe something in the arm, maybe. But honestly, I remember that toy being pretty fun. So it's a nice recreation, but I do really wish, this is my biggest complaint with the robot mode. These need to lock in place somehow. I don't know. But anyway, let's go ahead. Let's get into his transformation. Transformation is actually pretty simple. And once again, if you've done Armada Megatron, there's really nothing new here. I'm going to start by flipping up these panels. I'm going to fold the hands into the forearms like so. I'm going to open up these panels on the side here, which cover up these large storage areas for our arms. Just pop it right in, close it up. Repeat the process over here. Pop that open, store the arm inside, close it up. You're going to, like I said, you can open this up and pop this out if you'd like. It doesn't really matter, but for completionist's sake, we'll do so. These are then going to come all the way up, like so. And then this will come up and peg in. Sometimes, for whatever reason, this arm brings this one along. This one doesn't do it. Well, I guess it is doing it now, but sometimes they come along. Like I said, they're all very tight. All the joints are very tight. The reason you want to leave these up is because you have that little notch right there, which then sits on top of this. So you have to make sure that's out of the way. But there is the top all done. You're going to straighten out the turret, flip it open to give you clearance to spin the waist 180 degrees. Then you can close it back up. If you have the ankles tilted, straighten them out. And then you can flip up the heels and flip down the toes. My gosh, these are tight. There we go. The heels have definitely loosened, but the toes are rough. There we go. Then we're going to come into these little panels on the inside of the leg. Flip them down. Or actually out, down, whichever way you want to look at it. Open them up. And then you're just going to collapse this up. This section here will fit into that section there. And also you can see that there is a tab right there, which is going to peg in up here. So you kind of bring this in, line that up, and then you can kind of push it into both sections at the same time. So line that up like this. Push that in. And then these will just kind of push down like that. And there we go. There is Galvatron in tank mode. So a pretty simple transformation, but satisfying. And I really do like the tank mode that you're left with. I thought it was so simple back in the original toy as well, but just worked perfectly. And it's a good looking tank. I like it a lot. You have these crazy pincer claws here if you want to utilize them to capture minicons. You have the turret that can move all the way around, move up and down. Again, you have this little piece that can flip up and then spin around if you want, so it can kind of cover the back. click that back into place. Now, one thing that the original toy did have was so many Minicon ports with spring-loaded features. These used to pop open on the original toy. I think there was a little section down here on the side. You could put a Minicon inside. It would flip open. So they removed all that, obviously. They did it with the original Megatron, and with this just being a repaint. Obviously, Galvatron does not have those features either. But, you know, I get it. I mean, that toy came out 20 years ago at this point. And I think it was around the same price, so they were able to give it, you know, more bells and whistles back in the day. But I still think this is a fun mold. I mean, yes, it's missing all of the Minicon spring-loaded charm, which it's kind of funny back in the day. And if you know me at all, I'm not a huge fan of spring-loaded gimmicks, but for some reason with Minicons, it kind of worked to varying degrees. But I think all of the features for Megatron were actually really cool. I miss them a little bit, but again, you know, this is kind of a more collector-oriented figure, and so having all those kind of gimmicky play features maybe doesn't make as much sense in a collector, you know, edition figure, but not that they weren't fun, because they definitely were. But this is kind of a more streamlined, cleaned-up version. Rolls very well, so there is that. But yeah, it's fun. Like I said, I liked Megatron, I like Galvatron. Just to show them off side by side. Looking pretty good. Something about the green really pops, though. Like, while I do love this color scheme, I think I do prefer Megatron over Galvatron, just my own personal preference. They're both very good. And this is a really cool repaint. But I think I just love the crazy orange and the green and the purple over here for Megatron with a little bit of gunmetal gray. Just always really popped, in my opinion. But yeah, both of these look really good. I like Galvatron a lot. It's definitely a really nice repaint of a really fun mold. Again, I don't think it's perfect. It does have its flaws. Biggest for me in robot mode is that I wish these locked into place somehow, just because anytime you try to move the arms around, they end up moving with them, and I just really don't care for that. I love the new face sculpt. That grimace he's giving is absolutely fantastic. Again, overall, the color scheme is really cool. Paint applications are pretty good. Transformation, not too difficult, but satisfying. I think the tank mode looks good. I mean, everything I loved about the Megatron version of this mold is still here, and everything that was kind of a problem then is unfortunately still a problem here. But overall, I do think it's a fun toy. Do you need it? That's going to be up to you. I mean, if you already have Megatron and you don't really care about this repaint, I could see this being an easy skip. On the other side, if you never were able to get Megatron, here's a way to get this mold in a really nice color scheme. Also, if you're thinking of picking up Tidal Wave, this color scheme really nicely matches Tidal Wave, and those figures have compatibility, so might be worth it to pick up for that. I kind of think what I'm going to do, I do plan to get Tidal Wave eventually. I don't know when, hoping for a sale or something, but I might display Galvatron with the Tidal Wave pieces attached, and then have Armada Megatron just on his own. That way I can kind of get use out of both molds, or both versions of the mold, I should say, having one on his own and one with the combined pieces. So that's kind of how I think I'm going to display it when I eventually, you know, put that together. But in the meantime, it is a really nice repaint. You know, Armada was fun with their kind of power-ups about halfway through. And this is definitely a nice color scheme for this mold. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Will you be picking this one up? Are you sticking with your Armada Megatron? Are you getting Tidal Wave? Let me know in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, thanks so much for watching.